As we continue along this path, you may notice something. The ground is not perfectly straight. There are bends. There are uneven places. Sometimes we must step carefully. So it is with habit change. Let us remember something clearly. Setbacks and relapses are not signs of failure. They are signs that you are human. When a person begins breaking an old habit, especially one that has served them for years, resistance is natural. Old habits are not merely behaviors. They are solutions. The mind once created to meet a need. And when that need returns, especially under pressure, the old solution may try to reassert itself. Why do relapses occur? Stress weakens resolve. Fatigue lowers awareness. Emotional triggers stir old cravings. Challenging situations awaken familiar coping mechanisms. But beneath each relapse lies something deeper. Often, it is not the habit that returns. It is the underlying need that has not yet been fully understood or sufficiently supported. If someone relapses into smoking during a stressful week, perhaps the need was not nicotine alone, but relief, grounding, pause. If someone returns to excessive spending, perhaps the need was not purchase, but comfort, identity, or control during uncertainty. If someone abandons healthy eating after a difficult day, perhaps the need was not food, but soothing, connection, or reward. When we see relapse this way, something shifts. Instead of shame, we gain information. Relapse becomes feedback. And this is where self-compassion becomes essential. Harsh self-criticism tightens the nervous system. Shame fuels the very needs that drove the habit in the first place. But compassion calms the system. It restores clarity. It allows learning. When a setback happens, ask gently, what need was I trying to meet? What was happening inside me just before I returned to the old habit? What might serve that need in a healthier way next time? This is not weakness. This is maturity. Resilience is not the absence of falling. Resilience is the willingness to stand again, wiser than before. Let me tell you something important. Many who ultimately succeed in transforming their habits did not do so in a straight line. They struggled, they relapsed, they adjusted, they learned. One person trying to quit smoking relapsed several times before discovering that stress, not nicotine alone, was the deeper driver. Once stress management and social support were strengthened, the old habit finally loosened its grip. Another person, attempting healthier eating repeatedly, failed until they realized their evening overeating was tied to loneliness. When they replaced isolation with intentional connection, the pattern shifted. Notice the pattern. Success came not from force, but from understanding. So how do you bounce back from a relapse? First, recommit without drama. Return to your goal quietly and firmly. Second, reassess your strategy. Ask whether the substitution you chose truly served the underlying need, or merely replaced the behavior without addressing the root. Third, strengthen support. Sometimes growth requires community, accountability, or professional guidance. And finally, cultivate resilience. Resilience is the quiet voice that says, I am still on the path. Setbacks are teachers. They reveal where our plan needs refinement. They reveal which needs still require attention. They deepen self-awareness. If you embrace setbacks as information rather than identity, you become stronger each time. Let us remember what we have learned in this section. Breaking bad habits requires courage. Substituting habits requires understanding the need beneath the behavior. Overcoming setbacks requires compassion, adaptability, and resilience. Effective habit breaking is not rigid. It is responsive. It adjusts as you learn more about yourself. So choose one habit you are working to change. Create a plan that includes understanding the cue, identifying the underlying need, choosing a healthy substitution, preparing for potential setbacks. Track your progress for a period of time. If you stumble, study the stumble. Refine the strategy. Continue walking. If you desire to go deeper, explore research on resilience. behavioral psychology, and habit formation through academic resources. Knowledge strengthens conviction, but more importantly, practice. Because change is not merely understood, it is lived. And though the wind may rise and the path may bend, you are still moving forward. Walk on.